Hello and welcome. Okay, so I want to go over something that has affected pretty much everyone, and even including myself, for people that they know or people that they were close to, and this is cancer. Cancer is not the #1 disease killer in the United States. Heart disease still beats out cancer. They're both very close. They're neck and neck. And both of these diseases are not caused by your genes and you're just going to get it. It doesn't work that way. That's the scam of the medical community. If you're going and you're eating fast food, you're going to get cancer. Period. You're going to get heart disease. Period. If you're eating foods at the grocery store that are just as bad as some of the chemicals that Taco Bell has basically said they're just the same as what's in the grocery store, you're not really winning. If you're eating processed foods in general, whether they're gluten-free or organic, whatever it is, they're still processed foods and they're not good for you. And they're full of chemicals. And the body does not respond to chemicals very well. And this is going to raise how many cancers you're going to get, the level of cancer, and destroy and lower your overall health. So what I want to explain is chemotherapy is far worse than all of these chemicals. As bad as these chemicals are, chemotherapy destroys everything in the body. If it doesn't kill you, then you're not going to live very long. They consider, and I say they, the traditional medical community, quote unquote, they consider cancer being cured if someone doesn't show any of these symptoms from the time they started treatment to a 4-year period. It used to be 5 years, but they lowered that now. So now it looks like cancer is being cured a lot more. Even if this person dies on the 5th year, they still consider this person, quote unquote, cured. Now, this is widely misleading, and this makes the general public think, wow, the medical community is doing so great. People are living longer. It's all because of advanced medicine. People like you are a fraud. Okay, people like me are actually getting people to live to be 100 plus years old, not die at 60 years old, or 50 years old, or 40 years old, or even have kids with cancer. All these cancer foundations are a fraud. All that's going is back, all the money in the pockets of the drug companies, and it's all cycling through. And they don't care. They're just defrauding everybody. And this system, started by the Rockefellers, has not changed since it started. They took over the schools, they trained everyone on drugs and surgery, and they never taught anyone true health. And these same chemicals that were used then are used today. They're all patented, and the same treatment, chemotherapy and surgery, was used back then. So if people are living longer and the medical community has gotten better, why are they still using the same treatments from the 20s, 30s, and then they formed the American the American Medical Association in the 40s, and people like me were touted against as quackery and a scam, a fraud, and somebody that is basically, needs to be swept under the rug. So if you run a business and you take out all your competition, who are you going to compete against? Nobody. So this is very, very simple to understand. The people that are brainwashed, that think they need drugs, they need these useless tests that come in and say, well, your creatinine levels are normal in your kidneys. They're between, if you're male, between 0.6 to 1.2. You came in at, let's say, a 0.9. But you have fluid retention all under your eyes. You have massive kidney stones. You have ears that are not shaped properly, and this is another indication. This represents your kidneys. You have inflammation and parts of your ear red, not really like a bright red hot ear, but you have inflammation in this area. So you have advanced kidney disease. Now, does this mean you need to go on dialysis? No. It means you need to start cleansing your body. The point I'm trying to make is none of these numbers they're giving you make any sense. It's just a way to fool you into thinking, wow, they have a lot of scientific stuff. They know what they're doing. And I say stuff because that's all it is. Cancer is eliminated by getting rid of the chemicals. Raw fruits and vegetables in a shake, starting daily. Get rid of the chemicals. Raw unpasteurized cheese. Anything that is electric to the body. The body needs electric food. Think of the blender. As you turn it on, it has electricity. It needs electricity. It's making those foods and those nutrients open up and come out. You're putting those in your body, and your body is responding very well. It's very, very simple when it comes to that. The sun's rays are important for the body. People wear sunblock, sunglasses. All of these things are getting away from something that is your friend. Now, I'm not telling you to go out for hours on end. You shouldn't be in hours every day in the sun anyways. I personally have went up to 2 hours in a day. I try to stick about an hour, 45 minutes. It depends on how long my run is. But sometimes I'll go out and get a little more after that. But I'm eating the right foods, and I'm getting that missing link from the sun to help make the hormone in the body, which is known as vitamin D, also to help the decalcification of my pineal gland and other parts of my body where I know I still need a little bit more work to get rid of these things. Cancer, same thing. The sun is it's hard to explain, is the hardest thing for people to grasp this concept, but is the best way if you have cancer to get rid of it. The sun gets rid of disease. The sun does not cause disease. Granted, you can get a sunburn, but that does not mean that you are overloading on vitamin D and that hormone is out of control. Nature will stop it at a certain point. But you can overload on a vitamin D supplement. But you cannot overload on adding and producing this hormone in your body to make the vitamin D. It just doesn't work that way with nature. You can overload on any supplement. You can overload on food. It's much harder though. But the point I'm trying to make is you need to stay and keep your mind sharp. You need to stop listening to the mainstream media. Who pays for those ads? The drug companies. Who is funding the mainstream media by paying for those ads? The drug companies. That's why every single commercial pretty much is a drug ad. That's how they make money. They're advertising to you that they are the only hope for you to go into your doctor in the United States. That's a huge part. You need Cialis, or you need Lipitor, or you need a statin. None of those are necessary. They're all chemicals. What you need is you need to run. You need to get some more sun, 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, especially if you're darker skinned. You need raw fruits and vegetables. You need food without chemicals. You need to have more, or at least equal to, raw foods versus some cooked foods. Of course, I eat seafood, so that's obviously cooked. You do not want raw seafood unless you want parasites, because depending on how long that fish sits, the more the parasite will grow. And I'm not trying to gross you out here, but parasites are causing disease and will kill you. If the medical community doesn't kill you, the parasites will. So you want to eliminate this. Don't drink the tap water. Get rid of bottled water that, if you can afford it. I mean, your best investment is your health. Not what you're wearing, not your shirt, not your car, not your, whatever it is. Material things mean nothing. You need shelter, you need a roof over your head, you need food, and you need clean water. Everything else is just a luxury. Sure, you need clothes, but you don't need expensive ones. You just need to cover your body, shield your body from the elements, the weather, and things of that nature. But you do not need to go out and have a Ferrari or an expensive car. You want your food to represent a Ferrari or an expensive car to your body. Of course those foods are more expensive now. Fruits and vegetables are like a high-end sports car. Sadly, processed foods are the junk. That's your Pinto or your car that basically is obsolete. So the point I'm trying to make here is cancer is just like all of this. You're getting something that your body is telling you, a symptom. Hey, stop giving us all this and get us better. Let's go back to the natural ways. But instead, people say they can't fix their problems, so they go to the medical community, and the doctor knows nothing about health. And they mean well. I mean, they get into the profession wanting to help people, but then they start realizing later on that they're not helping anyone. That's why doctors have a very low life expectancy. Traditional doctors are dead well before 70. A lot in their late 50s and 60s. And these are the people that you're learning from, that are supposed to help you. But all they do is give you chemicals, treat your symptoms, and poison you further, and then eventually you die. And then, of course, the system continues to go as more people flood in, and it's just all a vicious cycle. So cancer is part of that. Heart disease is part of that. And again, I don't want to make this video too long, but I want people to understand. There's a lot of brainwashed people. Unfortunately, I get comments daily from people that think I'm an idiot, I'm a fraud, I'm a moron, their doctor knows everything, but yet they're sick and they're searching on videos for help because they're just stupid. If you're watching my videos, you're sick. So I don't care if you're in the profession, you're out of the profession. It really doesn't matter. I don't give a darn. You're sick. Wake up. People don't see my videos that are healthy. I'm sorry. If they're just searching through, they're either in the profession, they are very sick, or they're mildly sick, or they have some type of disease. And I am here to help you get rid of that disease. If you don't change your mindset, you will never get rid of your disease. I guarantee you that. You'll be in the grave a lot quicker, and you will be very unhealthy, because once you start on that downward cycle, you will continue to get lower health and skyrocket health problems. Think about that. Thank you.